Hello, 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 beautiful, wonderfully made women, business women. Welcome to our group, the Detox Spa for Business Women. I'm going to bring in Raquel so we can talk about this topic that we're going to be talking about today. While technology brings her in, I wanted to say welcome. Please tell us where you're coming from. Say hi in the comments. When we do Facebook Lives, we want to know about you too. We want to interact with you. We want to help you. That's why we created the group, to help you. So we can't help you if you don't help us, right? Help you. And today we start this is episode 1 of our Detox Fridays. Every Friday around the same time, we're going to go live with a new topic to help you detox your mind.
Yes.
Hello, Raquel.
Hello, sweetheart. We're really excited about this particular topic today as well because, as you know, Anna and I are master manifestors. We always get what we want. It's not a matter of if, but when. And so, sometimes we have to employ patience. Patience
Good one.
is patience is our we have to employ it, right? So it's an employee, but sometimes it's also our taskmaster. So so we want to talk about those things today. A lot of times, like I was telling, I just did a quick live on my personal page that I see so many things being posted by people, and like
Yeah,
if
me
it's
too.
for you, it's for you. You don't have to chase this, and we mentally ascend, right? We see those things and it does breathe life to us for that second. We're like, yay. And then the next second is, okay, now what?
What do I do?
So
How? What is going to happen,
how?
right? And then we start questioning the how.
Yes. And so a lot of times, we're not given the how. We're given you need to believe, and then the how will unfold itself and will reveal itself as you choose to believe that it's true. And so going back to some of the fundamentals for those who are new, who are coming in, we welcome you to the group.
Yes,
We had a
welcome
couple new
you.
people. Yes, we've had a couple new people join the membership, so we're excited to have you here. And so one of the we again, what we talked about in the first couple lives was that repetition that's how you get mastery, and that's how you remember things. So when you are visually seeing something, you do retain a lot of it in your subconscious, like 80%. But when you're only hearing, you retain 20%, which is why we repeat certain things. But it's not that because the more we repeat it, the more it will become truth for you and your belief system, and then you automatically just fall into these processes. So going back
Right.
to day 1 about the thoughts, and for the benefit of those who need a refresher, as
Yeah,
well.
before you get that, I want to talk to the new people first.
Mhm.
We have this 5-day process to help you break through. We just completed a challenge. I'm sorry you missed it. Yeah, we're not gonna do it live again for a while. So, but we have a gift for you. Since we have your email. If we have your email, expect a cheat sheet for this 5-day breakthrough today. It's gonna be done today, so I will be sending it to you today. Go ahead, Raquel. So they know what
And
we're talking about.
yes, and we decided to do this because we wanted to make sure that in a way you do not miss out on the breakthroughs. Women were getting breakthroughs from day 1, doing the being with us, and so every day people were getting a higher level, a different level of breakthroughs, breaking through in different things in their belief systems and internally, and so outwards things started to manifest. And so we wanted to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that only because you missed it, that you won't miss it all. Those
Yes,
who were
no, you
able
won't.
to, yes. And so those who were able to be with us, they were kind of our first fruits. They got the first fruits from what we were doing. And so maybe that's why they were radically blessed, because they accepted the challenge and they were involved, and that's why they got breakthrough. There is a thing about first fruits, and we'll probably talk about that in another live, because that's another thing of manifestation. But going back to what we were talking about on day 1 about the thoughts, It's that, science has showed us why the best-selling book in the world tells us that, think on things that are good or pure, praiseworthy, all those kind of positive things. So that was the first, that's one of the guidelines. Think on those things. And other one was to cast every vain and wicked imagination down. And why are you doing that? It says, um, yeah, cast every and make it obedient to Christ. So what is Christ? Christ is love and peace and joy and fullness and wholeness and healing. So all those Christ consciousness things that you hear about, those are all the positive things. So why did the best-selling book in the world tell you this? It's because neuroscience is now finding out why. We are wired for love, we are wired for success, but we are programmed for failure. We are programmed
Yep.
through generations, that it's in our genes. We're programmed through our environment. We're programmed through our own ignorance that we accept these lies. And so when you are having positive thoughts, then you have, your brain is a big drug dealer. And so it's going to release these juicy chemicals, but because it doesn't understand fear, it doesn't understand worry, anxiety, any of those negative emotions and those thoughts, it's a computer. It is a supercomputer. Your brain can hold 3 million years of data. And so because it's a supercomputer, it's trying to match and align itself and align you. It's doing its job by aligning you with your thoughts and your feelings. That's its job. That's part of the heart function. That is
Right.
the interface. If you think about an interface, that's your heart function. So it's like, okay, your heart has decided, your interface has decided to now think about things that are fearful. So when that happens, your brain doesn't understand fear because fear is a taught emotion. And so now you're having fear thoughts. Your brain is releasing 1,400 chemicals, 30 hormones. It doesn't understand. So it's over flooding you with what is really created for you for the good. So something now that was made for good is now giving you a chemical imbalance. Now you're in chemical chaos. And so then when you're in chemical chaos, you can't make good decisions. And so you're thinking,
Mm-hmm.
why am I going in circles? There's difference between circles and cycles. So you go in circles because you haven't really gotten to that fear factor, because you haven't been told you have to captivate your thoughts. And even if you're told that, you're not told how. You're not told why. So if you understand the beauty of your brain and how your thoughts really and the way you think is really the gift that you provide to people, that is your real gift, because it is a signature to you. It is like your fingerprint. Your voice, the way you communicate, the way you're communicating that out, it is a signature sound. And so when you have these thoughts that are not in alignment with what is good and what is perfect for your life, then you will flood yourself in chemical chaos. And so that's one of the reasons why you're not manifesting, is because you are out of alignment. So a lot of people like to
Mm-hmm.
use the word, I want to be in alignment, I want to resonate. You also need to be careful about what you're resonating to, because resonating just means that you're in agreement. So if you're resonating to somebody else who's broken, you're like, oh, I really like that person,
Right.
I resonate with her. But listen to what they're saying. What fruit is coming out of that relationship, out of that contact? Even if it's like this, right? When you're with somebody on a live, when you're listening, reading their content, when you are
Yeah.
following them in social media, what fruit is coming out of your life? And if it's not good fruit, there's only two kinds of thoughts, good or bad. It's either good for you and it's going to help your destiny, it's going to empower you, it's going to make you feel good, but it's going to give you good fruits, or it's going to eventually lead to death. And some people say, oh, death, I'm not really going to die. No, it's going to be death to self, death to your dream, death to your destiny, death to all the people that you were supposed to touch.
Yeah.
Everyone has a tank of people that they are responsible for, that they are supposed to touch. And those people have a ripple effect. So
Yes.
their people are also in your tank. And so if you are deciding not to take hold and captivate those thoughts, then you are choosing by not choosing. that you're going to now put those things in your brain, and those negative things come in and they'll recycle and they'll get stronger and stronger, because everything is seed, time, and harvest. People like seed time. No, seed, comma, time,
Time,
comma, harvest.
harvest.
And sometimes
Yep.
the harvest is immediate because we have gotten to the point where we have prayed so much for it, or we are so aligned within, our thoughts and feelings have combined, which is our subconscious.
I don't know if only Raquel is stuck, but if that's the case, I'm gonna keep going from where she left
Okay.
off. Hi.
Yeah,
Okay, there you
I
go.
got it.
You're back. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry
Okay.
about that. My I brought my hotspot to make sure, but it's still, now it's acting wacky and it's not fully charged. So anyway, so you have to be married on the inside.
Right.
That is marriage. The king and the queen. So what's the king? The king is the heart. It is the interface. It is the ruler. But it is influenced by the queen, the soul, the mind, the will, and the emotions. Are you catching that about marriage? Real
Yep,
marriage?
that also applies to your actual marriage, guys. Pay
Yeah.
attention.
Pay attention. While he is the heart of it, you are the soul. It's heart and soul. We will prosper and be in health as our soul, the queen, prospers. So when the queen prospers, the king is empowered. You're cycling all the time. And so if you're frustrated with not manifesting, first, we encourage you to assess what is coming out of your mouth.
Hmm.
You need to slow yourself down enough to catch it, to really audit what you're saying. Because when we look at how we are made in the image and likeness of God, and so when you look at how God created, he said he's he so you know he
He
said
said,
he
yes,
he
go ahead.
um he felt, no, he saw,
Yeah.
and then he felt. So there is the speaking, which is your creating,
Hmm.
but then you have to um visualize. You have to see it, because it is
You
true.
have
You
to
know,
see
it's like
it.
I'll believe it when I see it. Yes. When you see it here and you see it in here, so you can't see what I'm doing. I'm pointing to my heart, but you can't see what I'm doing. So you need to see it to believe it. You need to experience it in such a way in your soul realm. That's what Tesla did. So those who, you girls probably know about Tesla. You've heard about the car, but Tesla, the inventor, that's what he did. He would sit and he would visualize
Imagine.
and imagine, and before he even put any pen to paper for his inventions, he would work it out completely. He can see it. He's like, oh, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. And they said to him, how is it that when you put pen to paper, that your inventions work exactly as you said? And he's like, because I saw it before I drew it. I was in my imagination. So in his imagination, he was able to play everything out because he was a genius, and said, oh, that's going to cause a problem here. Oh, that's going to cause a problem here. So by the time he figured it out, then it was pen to paper. But see, this is the problem. People have seed time. They want to create with their mouth, but they don't want to put the time in. They don't want
They
to
don't
put the
want to
time
sit
into.
down and meditate. They don't want to put the time. And yeah, sorry to interrupt there, but it's so true. Like, we have given you tools, we have given you a meditation. I've been listening to the meditation. Have you? I've been listening to it's a meditation slash prayer. It's different from what you've heard and seen in outside. It's not the same. We could do something like that later, like helping you learn how to breathe and learn how to actually take you into the imagination. But the meditation Raquel did for you guys for the challenge, right? For the ones that participated in the challenge, for the ones that did not, are we adding the to the freebie, the meditation? What do you think?
Yeah, I think they need it.
I think they need it. Okay, but they're gonna have to listen to it because um, it's only 15 minutes. Okay, and if you pay really close attention and you do it day in, day out, day in, day out, what's going to happen is what's happening to me right now. So I'm going to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff is starting to come up. Um, Not necessarily, not always thoughts, but my body is speaking. You got to let your body speak as well, right? When you're doing this reprogramming of the mind. So what's happening is that there's no harmony between the mind and the heart. So it's really hard for you to imagine. And that's what's happening to me. That's what has happened to me when I don't manifest. It's like if I cannot see myself there, feel myself there, like what I manifest all the time are experiences. For me, that's what I love to do, right? I love to create experiences, and that's what money gives me, experiences, right? So until I felt and saw myself in that place. For example, I don't know, when I started doing this, the on purpose, because you have to do this on purpose, right? Like Rosie says that, yeah, we it takes the same time for us to solve our problems, the same time it took us for us to create them, right? So the same thing with what we want. It takes time, but we have to see it first and feel it first, just like
Mm-hmm.
our just like God, like creator, right? He told us how to. We're the women, guys. We are the creators. We created. I mean, we make houses homes. We make kids and husbands a family, right? And they say it like, you give something broken to a woman and she'll fix it and make it better, right? That's our role. So the same thing when it comes to manifestation. If you don't believe first, right? If you don't see it first, no one else is going to see it with you.
Right.
So when you're trying to manifest, Russ is asking if we doubt the process. What if we doubt the process? Oh, I've doubted the process a lot. It's a human thing. It's human. We're, like Raquel said, we're programmed for misery. We're programmed for fear. We're programmed for I don't know, failure.
Yeah.
But we were created in love, so there's a conflict inside. There's a conflict. There's a conflict. There's a conflict. And I've heard this before as well. When people are like, I manifested the love of my life, guys. Okay, so I'm going there. Wait. So I've been working on my relationships because I had to work on my first, and this I talked about on my Spanish group, is that you have, in order for you to manifest, for example, the love of your life, you have to first deal with the base relationship. What is that? You. You have to deal with your relationship, your own self. Because if you can't love yourself, you can't love anybody else. Period.
Right.
Period. Not even Jesus, okay? Do you understand that? If you cannot love you, and how do we comprehend the love? Because I had to go through this process. I had to go through the process of first dealing with my self-worth and my self-value. Because if I don't heal first, I can't love, right? So I'm not ready for that love of that soulmate to come. So that's why I was waiting and waiting and waiting, and I was not doing the work, like Raquel said, right? I was not actually playing the role of the wife. I was not praying for my husband. I was not, imagining our lives. I was not seeing it before it came through. I was not seeing myself as worthy of that. That's why I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it for real. I thought that I did see it, and I've doubted this process for a long time, a long time. And until I surrendered and I said, fine, fine, okay, I'm going to start imagining, I'm going to start feeling that I can and will and I'm able to receive love. Do you see all the words I just used? Pay attention. Um, and then stuff started come up to come up and come up and come up, and I've had to deal with the daddy issues, right? If you've heard my testimony, it's on the video this week. I did a breakthrough testimony because he finally believed. He believed that I am the one he's looking for. He finally broke through on his limiting beliefs because he's healing too. Guys, you gotta understand that too. Men also need to heal. Don't expect for you to be all healed up and like, okay, I'm ready, and then here he comes and you need to nurture him and you reject him because he's not ready. Maybe you need to nurture him for a while. That's what I said, the prayer I said, like, if I am ready, please give me like, let me see it on the 3D so I can keep waiting. Because the wait is hard, the doubt is hard, the process is hard. But God, if you ask him for signs, he'll give you the signs. He will. He so will. And he's been giving me so many signs. And it was until I started doing the work on myself. And I started, okay, I need to start meditating and spending time with God, because I was not doing it. I knew I had to do it. Like, you know what you need to do. Don't tell me you don't know what to do, because you've been doing it forever, since you were born. We know how to do this, like, naturally. Our body knows how to do this, right? It's done it with all the crappy shit that we've attracted. So, right? So why you can do it with the other stuff? So easy.
Right.
So easy. But since we go back to the mystery, because that's what we've experienced before, and we are putting ourselves in a position where we think that this is going to happen because of our previous experiences, we're living in the past and we're never going to break through. I don't know if you heard this phrase, but it's very popular in the mainstream media and everybody says it, but it's so true and it's very cliche. But there's a breakdown before the breakthrough. Mm-hmm. You got to be broken down in order to break through. The eagle takes its, it rips himself apart. The phoenix as well. And the Bible does not say that we should be running like chickens. It says that we're flying like eagles. Mm-hmm. So why do you expect not to go through the shit? I don't get it. It's like people just run away, and we run away from it. Like, I ran away from it. I ran so much with so many things. Alcohol, sex, drugs. You can put a name to it. I think I've done it. Okay? To avoid it. Just to avoid it. Sure. Okay? But until I started doing the work and started to love myself first, then we could manifest and help nurture, my soulmate into being ready for me.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because they are also hurting. You can't expect that when you meet, you guys are going to be all perfect as well. I've learned that. I've learned that. And I still say, like, really, God, that's what you want me to do? Fine. And you have to be obedient, right? That's another thing. Mm-hmm. Obedience, right? And part of doing the meditations every morning, praying, God's going to put the desire on you. God's going to keep putting the desire on you every step of the way. Like, I've always been like, in the back of my head, you got to read the Bible. Yeah, I got to read the Bible. Yeah, I got to read the Bible. Do I really read the Bible? Yes, now. Now that I can analyze it, because my brain is different, guys. Like, everybody, everybody's process is different. That's also as well. I needed to learn the science behind everything first, because I was raised in religion. Okay? I was raised in a very strict household. I had a golden cage. I couldn't do anything because my mom knew me better than I thought. And she knew I was a rebel, right? She knew that I was, what nowadays people call trouble, right? When you say, oh my God, these kids are trouble, you're like speaking very bad stuff into them. So don't do that. Don't do that. But that made me actually want to do it more. That made me want, my reprogram like exploded completely. And all of the things that I was passed down to, because you're passed down to stuff as well. It's not only your programming, it's your parents' programming, it's your it's your grandparents' programming, it's your great grandparents' programming, it's your great great grandparents' programming. So that's why we have all this like repeated, and they call it chains in church. They call it the spiritual chains, and like that you have to break them. And this is what we're talking about, guys. But we're talking about it science-wise because that's how we learn. That's how we like it. We don't like all the religion around it, right? But we want the truth, and that's the truth. That is the ultimate truth, that we were created in his image, and that it's Genesis 1:1. Seriously, Genesis 1, chapter 1. That's it. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know to start taking care of and starting loving yourself. He created you as his image and his likeness. To be of what? And it tells you exactly what your purpose is. To be of help to the men. Even if you don't like it, I'm so sorry. So sorry. I know how you feel. Oh, believe me, freaking know how you feel. Oh gosh. That being not the star role in the play is
Yeah. And just to really go back to that word helper, some people are like, that sounds demeaning, but that's what God calls himself. So when he created, and he didn't form us, he created us out of something else. We were already part of the plan. We were already hidden in Adam, and he drew us out and created us out of there, and then called us helper, which is what he calls himself. So when God calls the woman helper, it is not demeaning because that's what he calls himself. So he gave us a divine name. And what you have to understand in the Hebrew culture is that names are everything. Names are, you're prophesying that. You are creating that. Every time you say that name is being created, it's being manifested, it's being called out. So when God calls the woman helper, he's like really calling you in his image and his likeness. There is so much power in just there. And knowing your role of, I am a divine helper. You're just not like any helper. No, I'm just like, you're not a helper like a little kid. You are a divine helper to anyone who's in your path. You can create. You can transmute things. You get food, you make it into a meal. Like Anna said, give her a house, she'll transmute that into a home.
Yeah. Because that's what we do.
That's what we do. And so in this creation process is remembering all those things. You have to get to the point where your thoughts and feelings they're already aligned. The problem is that they're aligned in the wrong crap.
Yeah.
That's why you keep on manifesting the same thing.
They're not so let's talk waves for a second, right? So everybody understands, sound waves, all right? Mm-hmm. So that's what's happening. The sound waves are distorted.
Yes.
They're there, but they're distorted, all right? And that's what Raquel is saying with the frequency, right? And why we talk about frequency, because we're energy, we're waves, we're molecules, we're not even, we are like, I don't know how to explain this because it would have to go through like 4 hours of training. But we're actually, we could be anything. We could even be, a box, if, that makes you curious about some science. We are what the observer sees. And what are you observing? And that takes me also to the part where we have to love ourselves as well. It's like whatever you see in the mirror, that's exactly what's going on. That's exactly what's reflecting. Yes. The observer. You are the observer, just like God observed first. He saw first the earth, and then he called it good. Every time he did something as well, he called it good. Every time, in middle of the mess, every single day after he was done, he blessed it. He called it good. And he was what? He felt good about it, right? There was no uh, unscrewed nails, right? There was nothing missing. It was what had to be done that day. It couldn't be done before. It couldn't be done after because the environment was not ready. And you had to be ready in order for you to manifest. Yes, you had to get the environment ready. And that this love story, my love story, is a reflection of that. My land was not ready. The environment was not ready. And that's why I tell people, like, it's totally different, guys. Like, when you let God choose, as when you choose, totally different. Like, ballpark different, right? Because I had to do this prayer, and you can do this prayer as well. You could they tell you to do a list, like we have to be specific when we ask for something, and yes and no. We had to know what we want, but we can't be going down to the nitty gritty details because we are human. That's it. We're human. We screw up. God doesn't. So I told him what I wanted as a partner, and what I wanted to feel, what I wanted to experience, what I wanted in a man, right? For me. And then I told him, you choose. You know what's best for me. You know what's best for Anna right now, and you know what's best for Anna in 20 years. So I need that to be the best thing in 20 years. I need that to be the best thing until we grow old together and die together. Because that's what I'm manifesting. And don't think that you're not manifesting and you're not breaking through. That's another thing. Like, people are like, I'm never having breakthrough. And have you noticed how much you've grown? Have you noticed? Have you grown? That's the question. So that's a hard question. Have you grown? Or are you still the same bitter, resentful, tired of dating woman? Serious. What are you doing? Are you working on yourself? Matthew Hussey says it. I'm going to give you one of the, go check Matthew Hussey, Matthew Boggs. They're the best relationship trainers out there on YouTube. Seriously. And if you can buy their courses, also buy them. I mean, they're great. But they both talk about this. If you cannot value yourself, men are not going to value you. Period. And it's not about sex. It's about standards. It's about your own value, about how you see yourself. And if you're not a high value woman, don't expect to attract a high value man.
Right. And the truth is, you are high value. You just are not aligned with that truth.
You're not vibrating on it.
You're not, because it's like what we said before, right? One of my favorite quotes: if it's the truth that sets you free, it's a lie that keeps you captive. And so, like, when Anna was talking about distortion, I had told this story in our previous lives, right? That for a long time I saw a distorted view of my face, because my father used to say "pero que nariz" and go like that, which means what a nose in Spanish. And so when I was in my early 30s, he did that again, and I kind of slapped his hand, and I was like, "Don't do that." I go, "You me da complejo," which means like, you're making me feel bad about myself. And he just looked at me, and he shocked, and he's like, "What are you talking about?" And he strokes my nose, and he's like, "You have a beautiful nose." He's like, "I love your nose." And then he turns his face. I'm the one with the big nose. He's like, "You have a perfect nose." But I would see my face distorted, like it was bigger than it was. And in that moment of my father saying that to me, when I looked at myself again in the mirror, I saw my face and my nose for what it was. So when she's talking about distortion, there are things that you are viewing. I mean, physically, my eyes physically came in alignment with that lie that made me not like my nose, which meant that I didn't like my face. And now that moment that my father gave me, he's never said that again. It's been more than 10 years. Never. He's like, I promise you, I will never say that to you again. And now he
Mm.
just calls me beautiful or lovely. And then that's it. The moment he did that, and the moment I believed, because I believe every single thing my biological father says, which is I've been in a blessed position because I have a great dad. So it's easier for me because of that environment that I grew up in to then believe
Mhm.
every word my heavenly father says. It's
Mhm.
easier for me. I have a strong gift of faith of whatever God says is so because I grew up in that environment in the 3D. So I have
Yeah,
an
and it
unusual
takes me
gift.
a longer time. Yeah, and
So
we're
I have
totally different.
so I have an unusual gift of breakthrough, but that's also in my name. It's in my name. It's in my tagline. It's actually in the name in the day that I'm born. 19 means catalyst, which is breakthrough. So it's all over the place in me. But I grew up in that environment. But as soon as my father said, "No, you have a beautiful nose. It's perfect for your face," and I looked in the mirror again, I saw I was no longer distorted. So my physical eyes came in alignment and I realized, wait. And that's what happens when, we're holding on to, well, like Anna and I talked about, for those who weren't in the challenge, that the first thing that broke through for us was our weight. You know,
Yeah,
I'm a size
my
like 5'6".
self-image. Yeah,
I'm
yeah, me
like
too.
about 130. I'm about 130 pounds. I eat whatever I want. If you go to my Facebook personal page, you'll see the other day I had like 2 Whoppers, 2 fries, and like 2 sodas. And it was, all the guys were like, finally, a girl who doesn't eat just salads. They were very excited to see what I was eating.
I
um,
don't eat just salads.
yeah,
That's
I love
boring. And I
salads. I
hate
just,
lettuce. I hate lettuce, guys. Ugh, who eats that? Ew, just put it on the burger. If it's in the burger, I'll eat it.
I'll
If
eat
it's
it.
not in
Yeah.
the burger, I won't eat it, guys.
You're not gonna eat it.
Don't give me lettuce. Give
So
me
what?
spinach. Don't give me.
So one of the first things that we broke, that was the very first thing, was our weight and our body,
Yeah,
and we've been
my
able to.
self-image. I used to feel really ugly
Yeah.
as well because I have this like a big I don't know, this, and my teeth were not perfect and I was bullied from school in school because of it. A lot. They would used to call me names because of it.
Yeah.
And it made me feel really ugly. Really ugly. And I had to, yeah, that was my first breakthrough. That was our first breakthrough. We had to start loving ourselves and valuing ourselves in order for us to keep attracting, to attract the love of our lives, to attract a soulmate, to attract what we want as our, as the life we have designed in our hearts. And I
Mhm.
say we because it's God and you. You both
Right.
decided what you want. And that's why it's there. And sometimes you're not going to understand why you want that. Like, for example, I don't understand why I like that man. I don't get it. I still don't get it. Like, I see it, but I'm like, Jesus, this is gonna be hard, because he 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 calls me on my bullshit, right? He's what I need, not what I want. Because what I want is like Prince Charming, right? Like Prince William or something, right? That figurine. But not really, not really. Who wants to be a princess nowadays? Seriously, Meghan Markle? Ugh, ugh.
Yeah, you
All
get a
those
binder like
rules,
this is
all
how to
those
behave, and then they're
rules,
always talking
all
about you
those
in the media
rules.
like she crossed her legs wrong. What? You got nothing else to say about the girl, but that she put her legs the wrong way. Shut up. Go sit down
Yeah.
somewhere.
So we're not that kind of princess. We're warrior
Yeah.
princesses, right? We're
Mm.
warrior princesses. We were put here on earth for you to change lives. You have a business. If you're here, you're a businesswoman, right? And I can bet that you got into business because you wanted to help. I don't know what. You wanted to help your family, you wanted to help yourself. Your help is in the language because that's what we do. That's
That's what we
innate
do.
in us. We can't just you know so you wanted to help, you wanted to you know help families and help other people lose weight, or maybe you want to help people like we do. We want to help people manifest and attract, right? We want them to break through. We want women to transform their minds, and that's why we're doing this. And I don't know what you got into business for. I actually want to know. We want to know. What was the reason why you started your business? Why are you here? What kind of breakthrough are you waiting for, right? Some are here because they really don't have clarity in their business. Some are here because they don't have clarity in their personal life. Some of you are here because you need to lose weight and you don't feel valued. So your business is, like reflecting the results because it's like stuck. It happens like when we don't see our value, things get stuck.
I'm just hearing we're constipated.
Believe
It's
me.
like you're spiritually constipated.
Yeah, you're spiritually constipated because you
Yeah.
are of value. But if you
Yes.
can't see it, things are not gonna go through.
Yes.
And that's why we created the 12-week program. And we actually have a surprise for you guys. We're going to wrap up with this. We're going to start the 12-week program, and we are offering a package without the coaching. All right, without the personal coaching, because we know that right now some of you, your budget does not afford that, right? So, but we're gonna help you with that. We're gonna help you break through, because we know that we created this package where we're gonna go live for 12 weeks on a different topic. The link is breakingupwithyourselfdaily.com, where you can see all of the information. We're gonna help you step by step. So we're gonna be doing it all in 90 days, and we're gonna give you all the tools, so when something else comes, or when you want to manifest whatever you want, you already have the tools and you already know what to do,
Mm.
and you just go back to it. And it's going to be available. The cart, are we closing the cart on Wednesday?
When's Wednesday? Oh,
Because we had to start. We're doing it live, right? This is raw and real,
yeah.
guys. We haven't even organized everything yet. Believe
Yeah.
me, we do imperfection action because that's what we were commanded to do. We just
Yeah.
do it, just do it, and then we'll figure it out on the way. So
Yeah.
we're starting next week.
Yeah. Because next
It's
week or
the
uh yeah, either next week
Yeah, next
or the
week is
week
the
of the
last
first.
week of
Yeah.
August. It's the last week of July.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So then it's or is it the following week, the last week of July? Because it kind of blends into
No.
August. Okay.
It
Mm.
actually blends into August next week. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it would
I
be
don't
the
have
first
time
week of
anyway.
August.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it would be the first week of August that we're starting this then.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So the
Yeah.
first week of August, we're gonna do 90 days, 12 weeks. We're gonna teach you how to break through step by step. If you want, I will actually tell you the topics that we're gonna be discussing in that 12 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna bring my computer though. So I'm gonna change my view here. Hi guys, you're gonna see my room.
You have such a beautiful view too of all the beautiful trees and the
I
birds.
know, it's so much it's so pretty that you know what comes every night, every day at between 5 and 6 p.m. The parrots, really
Oh,
green, like this size, very
yeah.
green, beautiful parrots, and they like squawkle for an hour. They squawk for an hour, and it used to bother me actually, and now I love it. I'm waiting for them to come. See, we changed the perspective on it.
Yeah.
So,
And then
yeah,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead.
So the reason we did 90 days is because 90 days creates a lifestyle. For those who are new and you're going to be getting the cheat sheet, we really want you to do these exercises, especially the meditation ones. And guys, just a reminder for at least 21 days, because 21 days, again, where you have these like trees, right? Your mind is the magic trees of the mind. So you have green trees and those gnarly, I'm gonna get you, I hate you trees. And when those negative things come up, you have to capture them, pull them down, and replace it with something. So you're pulling it down. It's a dual action where you're saying no to that lie, you're saying yes to the truth, but you have to replace it with something, and that takes like 21 days. So that's when Anna was saying you have to be consistent, you have to put the time in. It doesn't have to be hours, but it
Yeah.
has to be something. Even that action of saying no to this, yes to that, that is going to give you the kickoff point. That
Yes.
only takes a couple seconds. Again, you have a couple seconds to decide, and in those couple seconds, decide no to the lie, yes to the truth, speak out the truth, and in that moment, see yourself living at that truth. So that's why we sent the meditations in there, so that way you have something to kind of emulate. It has quantum physics information in there, so that way you can understand why the next verbiage that's coming up is going to be
Yeah.
manifesting for you. And so
Yeah.
this 12-week program is like the 5 day, but on steroids. So anyone who's gotten a breakthrough, and then people have been asking us because they want to do the program, and that's why we broke it down. We're like, okay, what can we do? What kind of energy can we, what can we do to help them? That's
Yeah.
also in their budget because they want to run with us. So we created. So you'll have the meat of it, which is the 12 weeks, the lives, and this is like coaching light. Because what happened, right? Rosie went and asked a question. We were able to answer it live. If we're
Yeah.
watching it in the replay, we come back and ask the questions. So it's not like
Yeah.
you're not going to get no coaching, but you'll get light coaching, which is what's
Yeah.
happening here. So we
Yeah.
wanted to make sure, because we're being asked, well, I want to run with you. I want to do this, but I don't know how I can afford this. And now we made it very, very affordable for everybody. Um, so we're excited about that because you asked, and so we answered. You wanted
Yeah.
it, so now we're providing it.
Yeah.
And really, if you are wanting to go to the next level, we're going to still keep doing this every single Friday. Get a detox, get ready, flush yourself out so you can begin again. But then if you want to run faster, stronger, you want to break through harder, then you want to get on steroids. You want
Yeah, I
to,
mean, it depends how fast you want to go,
yeah,
how you know, how much you want it. Really.
right.
That's how it comes down to, because when we want something, I know that when I want something, oh, I get it. I
Yes, you
freaking do,
figure it
no
out.
matter what. You figure it out. So let
Mhm.
me break down the 12 weeks for you. And with that, we will wrap up. And you're, of course, wondering how much is it going to be. So I'm going to read you the 12 weeks first, and then I'm going to tell you how much it's going to be,
Yeah,
because I don't want you to have the number on the mind and not pay attention to this, because it's very important.
very
The
important.
curriculum we have, it was designed in God's heart. Believe me, we've discussed this for a long time. We've been working on this for like a long time, since we were starting to write a book together.
Mhm.
And we were the first guinea pigs. We did it first. We're doing it with
Yes.
ourselves first. Like, guys, I manifested, yeah, Hollywood style. Yay! Go watch the video. The video. I'll do the story later. But so week one, we will be talking about breaking up with your old self. You will learn to identify what is keeping you stuck, getting to know yourself right now, where you are at, identifying what you need to break up with, and how to become the better version of yourself by recommitting to yourself, so that you can be the woman you dream and that you want to become. In week two, we're going to talk about becoming the best version of you. Knowing yourself is key, to be able to commit on building the woman that you want to be. Okay. We will give you strategies so that you can decide what is your best version and to start becoming her. Remember, we said you are of value, but you have to see yourself. And that's what we're going to do in week two. Then on week three, we're going to be discovering your divine gifts. God gave us all gifts and talents, and you will discover or rediscover yours. We will guide you through the process to discover, and we will help you activate them fully and for you to fulfill your purpose. All right.
Mhm.
If you don't feel there's clarity in your business, this is where it comes, right? We're going to talk about your gifts, your identity, your purpose. And then that's week number 4. See, the curriculum builds up, right? Week 4
Yeah.
is identity. It comes from Christ. That's what we called it. Women, we are divine creatures. We talked about this, right? Made from the inside of men. And our identity comes from who God and Christ say we are. And we will help you have clarity on who you are and the power that lies inside of you. Now, week number 5, what we'll do is that we will talk about what you don't captivate captivates you. So we'll go way deeper that we did on the first day of the challenge. This is where you will learn the universe, the energy, God, and your thoughts have created the life you are currently living. It says we will explain the science behind it and where you can find it in the Bible. You will be able to captivate your dreams and build a life you absolutely love. Now in week number 5, so that's in a month, right? In a month and a week. Week number 6, we will be talking about the path to manifest your God-given desires. So God created you with talents and gifts and desires.
And
So
desires.
yes, even the flesh desires. Yep.
Yep.
If it's inside you, God created it. Get over it. Seriously. Get over whatever religion told you about it. Okay, get over it. We're going to help you get over that. And after this week, you will know what exact path you need to take so you can pull what you want and desire. Your heart is, and what your heart is yearning for, right? And we'll also talk about the science and the Bible backed up info. Always, always, always. Come prepared to get your mind blown with a flood of aha moments on week 6. All right. Now, in week 7, we're going to be talking about the secret sauce for breaking up with your old self. We're going to give you a recipe because knowing your path to manifest your God-given desires needs spice to get the flavor of your dreams to inspire you to break up with those bad habits. Break up with those thoughts, feelings, and reactions. Breaking up with your old self requires this sauce to not take them back. So you don't go back in the circle Raquel was talking about.
Yes.
Remember, this is week 7. The secret sauce is going to make you, it's going to help you break through for good, for good. And this is the bridge between being and just desiring to obtain it. This is important. On week number 8, we're going to be talking about the metamorphosis to the new you, part 1 and part 2. So week 8 and week 9, we're going to be talking about a 4-step process where, like the butterfly, you need to complete a metamorphosis to commit to the new you. For breakthrough to stick in your life, there are 4 stages to attract the life you desire. And yes, you can have the cake and eat it too. Yes, you can. So we're going to help you, with this because with Jesus, anything is possible. And
Absolutely.
and you can have it all. Proverbs 31 tells us that we can. So don't think for a second that you cannot. On week number 10, we're going to keep building on this and we're going to help you breaking the addictive cycles to maintain the breakthrough. So we're going to keep going into this because it's important that you keep the breakthrough.
Yes.
Because we don't want you to go back to your old self, to your old ways, to your sinning ways. See, this is where we're going. And week 11, we're going to give you tips, strategies to figure out what to do when. So the week 11 is called This is What You Do When. So as business women who are super busy and / messy like me, we need practical advice that we can apply immediately that is helping with
Yes.
our production, that does not overcharge us with other stuff. So we're going to give you tips and tricks and secrets so you can move fast and pass all and get over stuff fast, right? I have that gift. I get over stuff like seriously 3 seconds, no problem, and I'm over it. But there's a process. There's a long process, and it's innate in me. It's one of my gifts, so I know how to teach it, and Raquel does too. But it's something that doesn't come naturally to everybody. Most of the people born in July actually can, June actually can do this. But we're not gonna talk about those things. And then week 12, we're going to wrap up the whole 90 days with figuring out your new superpower. We're going to help you learn, the powers that you have and your new superpowers so you can love the life you're building and stop living in misery and break through and
Mhm.
help and do what you have to do and go influence and go change the world and freaking be awesome. That's what we're going to be doing.
Yes,
I get
that's what
excited,
we're
guys.
doing.
Sorry. I get really excited. So, how much is it? Well, one payment of $9.97 or three payments of $3.97. That's
Yes.
the price. And you can just go there, breakingupwithyourselfdaily.com, and make the purchase directly. If you have any problems with the link, please let me or Raquel know, and we will help you through the process. We will create a Facebook group, a secret group. Yeah, another group I know, but bear with us. This is going to be just for the people that join the 90-day program. And
Mhm.
there you can ask us questions. Remember, Raquel said that you can ask us questions. Yes, we're going to have Q&A inside the group. You can ask us while we're going through the weeks, right? We're going to ask you what's going
Mhm.
on. We're going to be there for you. And you're getting as a bonus all the resources, printable materials, audios, ebooks, PDF guides, meditations, more than $13,000 of value for only $9.97. So I would get it now. Cart is closing on the 25 midnight, and we start the week after that
Yes.
live. So this is all for today. We will see you inside the course and also inside here. Invite women over, guys. We need to make this group big, big, big. Why? Because we need to spread the love. We need to spread the knowledge that you can break through and that women can support other women. It's
Yeah.
very important that we as believers support each other. And this is for any type of businesswoman that, feels stuck and needs help. And we're here to help you guys. And every Friday, we will have Detox Fridays where we will come with one of the topics to talk to you about. And we promise to make it shorter next time.
I did want to say one thing though, since
Yeah.
you brought it up. Just when you hear prices, sometimes you're not used to that. Well,
Yeah.
when you're talking about 997 over 12 weeks, that means it's less than $85 every week. And so you're getting two people who are master manifestors. And actually, we have already put in a couple hours of work before we go live. So you're actually getting 3 hours worth of content, worth of expertise, worth of information right in that week. And then you're getting two people for that. So when you're
Yeah.
thinking about breaking down the pricing for that, it's insane. You can go right now just to talk to somebody who's as qualified as I am in Chicago. Half an hour is going to be about $200. So when you're thinking
And
about
just
the prices
talking.
and just talking, and so when you're talking about the value that you're
Yeah.
getting, the only reason we're doing this is because we were asked to. We had like a
Yeah.
few people already come and say, can you do something for me? And we didn't want to do it just for one person. We're like, well, if we do it for you, then we need to kind of do it for everybody and then think through what can we do for everyone. So
Right.
we do get coaching light. You get to ask us questions. We get to answer them live. So it's great when you're here because live is first fruits. But you can watch the replays, and we still come back to the replays and answer those questions. You've seen that. So the value of what we're giving you is so much more than what you are releasing out of your hand. So if you're thinking about, I'm not sure, get sure,
Yeah, get
because
sure.
your window, what you want is seeking you,
Yes.
but you have to do your part and you have to jump in, and it's a matter of faith. If you're already here listening to us, you already have faith in us. That's why you keep
Yeah.
on coming back.
Yeah.
But I promise you that this program that we developed for you is going to take you to places that you have yet to dream of, because we're going to
Seriously.
reset you, reboot you, and in the end of 90 days, you will be a different person. When Anna was talking about those coming back, your brain, let's say your brain is like 70 degrees and you want to go to 72, but you go back to your set point because you don't know how to keep it at 72. And while
Mm-hmm.
we're giving you this impartations on Fridays, there's only so much that we can release to you. without
Yeah,
diving
look
deep.
at the time. I mean, it's, I don't know how
You
many
gotta go.
people on replay are gonna watch this because they're gonna see the time and they're gonna say,
Yeah.
I don't have time for that. And they're
Yeah.
missing on so much.
So much.
And so I'm
Yeah.
very grateful for you that you're here. Hi,
Yeah.
Dawn. Thank you for being here all this time. And Rosie, you
Hi,
guys
Rosie.
rock. We love you. We appreciate you. Please invite women into this group. We're going to keep doing the free content, of course.
Of
But
course.
God has told us to do this, and we are obeying because it
Yes.
is time. It is time. It is time. And I'm saying this not lightly. And those who know what I'm talking about. It is time.
It's
And we need
time.
to step up. If we don't step up, you know what's gonna happen. So
Yeah.
I don't want a world like that. Please, we need to step up. It's like I'm begging you from the bottom of my heart to step up. Seriously.
It's about
You need to do at least the meditations every day. At least the free
at
stuff,
least.
at
Do
least
the
that's
free
like
stuff.
the minimum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we labor over that stuff too because we want to give you
Dude, yes.
really great content. Do the
Yes.
meditation. It is 15 minutes. Do it while you're doing the dishes. Do it while you're on the train. Do it on the commute. Do
Do
it.
it while you're showering.
Yes.
Whatever. Just freaking start doing it. And then you're gonna like feel like, maybe I should just take some time apart and without doing anything else but that. But
Yeah.
it's gonna come. It's gonna don't force
Yeah.
yourself. Don't force yourself to, just force yourself a little bit because we need to. But don't be so hard on yourself too. Like
Yes.
that's the thing. Anyways, we gotta get
We gotta
going.
go.
Gotta wrap this up. I
Yeah.
love you. We love you,
Love you.
and I hope to see you inside the Breaking Up with Yourself program. See you guys. Bye.
Bye.